How's it going, everyone? This is your boy Harley. Welcome back, everyone. It's been a hot minute, and it hurt me knowing that there were times where I'd go back on my channel and I realized that, man, I haven't filmed anything in a while too. I've known some of my fans. I know that I've lost some subscribers and all that because I haven't been consistent. I haven't done what I used to do in the channel, and some of you that've been with me since day one obviously know what I'm talking about in this sense too. But I'll just go right into it, so that way I can make a impact on this channel and basically clear up from here, being the fact that I've went through my ups and downs. For some of you that have known me, part of my channel really succeeded because of my past relationship, and you know I can go back and say to myself that there were some things that I could have prevented. There were some things I really wish what I could have said. What I could say is that what I could have said to demanifest like the problems that ended up happening within that relationship. I could say that I could also take accountability with part of it, but you know what? It's just it's teamwork at the end of the day when it comes to being in a relationship. And obviously you know that the reason why I've been doing this channel by myself is because I broke up with my past relationship. I'm like a it's I feel like it's not important to mention my name. I feel like it's not appropriate, and I feel like it's also not appropriate to also mention my my past relationship's name. It For some of you that been part of my channel that know what I'm talking about, that's where I decided to cut ends with. So it's been since July. I'm pretty much now six. I'm eight. I'm pretty much like now 7 months single, really. And I've learned since that relationship to love myself even more, too. We're not gonna get into the what really went down. All I can really tell you is that look, basically what we basically what we could say is that I just love myself more. I've learned to give myself much more self-respect over the years. I've given myself more an opportunity to realize what it's like to be in a relationship, to know like, hey, you've done this wrong, you've done this right, you have good qualities to do certain things in life, to be able to not look back at the bad habits you used to have. And I'll tell you this, I've had bad habits. Like there's nothing I can deny when in that regard. I've learned that there's just certain people that no matter how hard you try to impress, it can never be enough. You could be you could do everything so perfect that the previous man or girl in a man or girl's case of the opposite gender's relationship, that they would never see that they've never been treated that nicely before. But then they'll find that one thing out of the 20 great things that you've done, and they'll find ways to overturn those 20 things that you've done well, all because of that one thing that changes the whole vision of everything. And you know what? And as I said before, I wish, if I had one power, I wish I could go back in time and fix some of the damage that I've done, or the times I've wished that I can go back in time and prevent some of the mistakes. But you know what? I can say this: I've never been arrested before. I've never done drugs in my life. Never did anything to get me pulled over on the side of the road. And I've always tried my best to learn the other side of perspective. That if I do this, what will happen if this happens too? Fortunately, I've tried my best. It just didn't work out. So, what I could tell you to some of you people, to some of everyone, is that, I'm sorry to some future girlfriends, to some future friends. I may not be the person that you may not want, that you don't think that I am, that you want me to be. But it's just like my thing is just like I can't purposely change for some people. I can't take back what I did. But at the same time, it shouldn't have to go back to me going back in time to justify what I did in my past, just for you to gain some sort of validation of why you feel a certain way. So that's what I can really say in that regard, because we live in a world where people trying to find out one thing to fault on you, even when it had nothing to do with the two of you. And I could speak that in terms of friendship, and not just friendship, something that happens with family, whether it's a sibling issue, a mother and son issue, a mother and daughter issue, a father and son, and a father and daughter issue, or cousin, like anywhere, business, all that stuff too. A lot of things to take a toll. Like, I'll give you an example. I don't talk to my dad. It's another thing that I probably haven't mentioned here. I don't talk to my dad. And the thing about it is that, like, I've been the type of person where I try to realize, okay, maybe he operates this sort of way, but then another thing pops up to where it just found another reason why it didn't work out. So it's like, you know what? I tried. I can't go back in time and try to resolve something just because you're not willing to accept your end of what you want to do to help make something healthy. And that's just not how I roll at the end of the day. So that's part of it. Number two is that if you follow me on Instagram and all that, like, I've made my stories and I've made stories and posts in regards when I turned 28, in regards to New Year's, that I've learned to love myself even more after this past year. I've learned to be able to put aside, like, understanding the difference of what's hurting me to make other people happy versus just focusing on myself, knowing that there's just certain times where it's not worth it too. I mean, I could tell you this though too. Since my breakup, I've been very happy. I've actually learned to have more of the peace that I never thought I can get since that relationship. I mean, some people that are watching this might find it shocking, but it's the truth. It's because a lot of things can look amazing on the outside, but outside looking in, like, there's a lot of stuff that I couldn't reveal that could let me display my emotion the way that I can right now too. So it's just, when I started my previous channels and all that, like, I thought that I could put myself an opportunity to be able to succeed with another half, but life takes its course. There's roller coaster rides to where it's just, it turns into Final Destination, and then something brutal happens too. So I mean, what I can tell you is that, like, learn to love yourself at the end of the day. Go ahead and find something to do that can make you feel happy even through the worst situations. People could say, oh, did you cry? Like, yeah, there are times I've cried and all that, but guess what I've learned to do? I've learned to love myself even more. All right, basically what I'm trying to get at is that, at the end of the day, there are certain things I can't change. There are certain things I could change. There are certain things that, like, a part of me is that, like, I've learned to where it's just like, okay, something tells you, like, and I've learned to also read body language over the years too. I've learned to read people's expressions when I know something is wrong. I can tell based on when a person texts me, or the certain vibe that they give, or it's just like when you're trying to make something enjoyable, but it's just the other half, you just feel that dark cloud of negative energy surrounding the top of the two, and you just feel like something is going to strike down at any moment too. And I've been there, and it's just like, for anyone, whether it's relationship or anything, like, it's not easy. Like, in the relationship terms, it's not easy, like, to be able to try to figure out, like, what can you do to make yourself adjustable for the other human. But at the same time, when I broke up, I realized that there was a lot of me that, to where it was just like, I feel great now. I feel happy. I like all this pain and all that stress is gone now. And it's just, I can and now I can feel more open to be able to express to people, like, like what went down, and because it's not something that I admit what happened. It's just something I can't really openly disclose here, unfortunately, due to privacy and due to respect too. And it's just there's things I wish I could say through here, but this isn't the place to say that. But what I can tell you is that a lot of things where, and I'm a person that loves, I'm a person that's willing to sacrifice, and all I can tell you is that, like, I'm the person that's willing to give everything that I can to make people happy. And you know what? People can love me, people can hate me, people can find a reason why they don't like the things I do. And you know what? At the same time, it's just like, there's a subscribe and an unsubscribe button. There's a follow, and you have the choice to unfollow me. Like, I don't get offended by that stuff. I mean, like, if you have something mean to say, don't say it at all. Just don't add me, don't follow me. Like, people, like, I grew up with, I didn't grow up with the things that I wish I had compared to other people. I didn't have a realistic father growing up. I didn't have really the best life choices to where it's just like I didn't think it clearly within that moment, but then looking back at it, I realized, I'm like, okay, there were terrible personal choices that I made. And then there are times where, all the stress that I put myself upon, or freak accidents and all that stuff too. So it's just, like, you can say what you want about me, I don't care. I've learned to be able to love myself more, to be able to look back at the stuff, to be able to say to myself, you know what, I've learned not to take a certain path in life to where I can't be in a spiral roller coaster ride of emotions. If you look at my Instagram, every Friday night I go out, and some people say, like, why do you always go out by yourself? I mean, like, you know what, you get more window of opportunities to meet new people, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I've learned to have more fun doing that. I have my set routine. Like, Monday through Friday, I work 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. And quite frankly, it's a great schedule, but it's also a super tiring schedule. I'm either sleeping, I'm either doing a lot of things. I'm like, or training, like, a lot of stuff goes down. It's not saying that I don't have the time to go on here on camera and display what I need to display. I do. It's just, it's hard, like, with the type of schedule I have too. And I also play in 3 basketball leagues, so like, but like I said, like, I know there's some flaws in me. I know there's certain things about me that some people may not like, but guess what, I say that with full confidence. I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm not afraid to deny that, because at the end of the day, like, we're all human. We're all people that gotta learn to accept and value ourselves. Does that mean choose yourself over others? In some cases, yes. Like, sometimes, like, it's like, for example, when it comes to family and you, like, would you rather go out and play? I'm sorry, the freaking alarm, like, it bothered me. Like, would you rather go out and do a certain activity to where it, like, like, you could be having your own fun and then feeling some sort of regret knowing that you could have been with family? Or would you rather be with family knowing that, it's one of those rare times where you get to see them, and it's a situation that you gotta say to yourself, well, I should have done this better, I should have done that better. There's a lot of things I could have done. I mean, I would choose, because I've been in situations where I've chosen myself over family, and it made me feel shitty at times. It made me feel like pure shit, straight up. So all I can really tell you is that, like, learn how to love yourself. At the end of the day, I haven't been the most perfect person. I haven't been the person that I wish I could be at times, in the best moments too. But you know what? Do I regret it? And like, do I regret being that I made those decisions? Yeah. Do I regret myself as a person? No, because I've learned to accept my past and use it as my motivation to be able to succeed and be happy and be able to this, as usual, display myself on camera the way I usually am. You know, I'm sorry that I'm not able to display myself on camera consistently, but that didn't mean that I ever forgot about my fans. And I hope in the long run I could be able to still open up the way I can still and show you guys, like, yeah, this has been me this whole time. Because I never forgot you guys. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna see you all later. Holla at me later. Yeah.